A very good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Preeti Yadav. I am working as Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I am from Applied Science Department. Today, I will discuss boundary condition on B and H and magnetic materials from Unit 2 and Lecture 9. Boundary condition on B and H. First of all, what is boundary? A boundary is a surface whose thickness is very small. Now, what is boundary condition? The condition that the field must satisfy at the boundary or interface separating the media are called boundary condition. And what is magnetic boundary condition? When a magnetic field enters from one medium to another medium, then there may be discontinuity in the value of magnetic field. And this discontinuity can be described by using boundary condition. And what is the requirement of boundary condition? Why boundary condition needed? These boundary conditions are helpful to finding the field from one side of the medium to the other side of the boundary. From one side of the boundary, if the magnetic field on the other side of the boundary is known, then we can calculate the value of the magnetic field by using boundary condition. For boundary condition on B and H, we use two laws. The first is Gauss law for magnetic field, means surface integral, cross surface integral of magnetic field P dot ds is equal to 0, because we know that B is the nature of the B is solenoidal. And the second is line integral S dot dl is equal to I, means Ampere's circuital law. We use these two laws for finding the boundary condition on B and H. Now decompose the magnetic flux density B into two orthogonal components. B decompose into Bt plus Bn, where Bt is the tangential component of magnetic field and Bn is the normal component. Also decompose H into two components. HT is the normal component, ST is the tangential component, and Hn is the normal component of H. Now, first of all, we found the normal component, found the boundary condition for normal component. Let us consider this is a boundary or an interface. Here we consider a Gaussian surface. And this is the medium 1 whose magnetic permeability mu1 and medium 2 whose magnetic permeability mu2. In medium 1, this is the magnet B1 is in medium 1 and whose normal component is B1 and tangential component is B1T. Similarly, B2 in medium 2 and whose tangential component is B2T and normal component is B21. Here this is a Gaussian surface whose area is delta S. This is the normal component B1N in medium 1 and this is the normal component of B in medium 2. And this is the height of this Gaussian surface and this is the boundary. Now we use first law, this is Gauss law. B dot ds closed surface integral of magnetic field is equal to 0. Now apply this condition on top, bottom and cut surfaces, side surfaces. For top surface, B dot ds plus B dot ds for bottom and plus B dot ds cut surface is equal to 0. And for top, the component of B is B1N and area is delta S minus B and the component of normal component of B in second medium B2n, but in opposite direction. Therefore, we used a negative sign, and the area is same delta S plus 0 because the area of the cut surface is 0. Therefore, B1n is equal to B2n. From this, it is clear that the normal component of B is continuous at the boundary. As a result, there is no change in the normal component of B across the boundary. The value of B, normal component of B from in one medium is same to the other medium. Now, boundary condition for H. H1n is normal component in medium 1. S2n is the normal component in medium 2. And we know that Bn1 is equal to Bn2 because the normal component of B is continuous across the boundary. Put the value of B mu1 Hn1 because B is, there is a relation between B and H. B is equal to mu H. And in one first medium, mu is replaced by mu1 and H1n, and in second medium mu2 S2n. From here, H1n divided by S2n is equal to mu2 by mu1. Here, H1n is not equal to S2n, but it depends on the magnetic permeability of both the medium. Therefore, from this equation, it is clear that the normal component of H is not continuous, but there is some change in values, normal component values of H. They undergo some changes at the interface or the boundary. Now next is the boundary condition for tangential component of B and H. Here is the medium 1 same, mu1 is the magnetic permeability in medium 1 and mu2 is the magnetic permeability in medium 2. Here this is the H1 in medium 1 and whose normal component is H1n and tangential component is H1t. In the similar way, here S2 is the component in medium 2 whose normal component is S2n and tangential component is S2t. Here let us consider a rectangular closed surface. Here AB is width is delta W and height is delta H. Now we apply Ampere's circuit law here, which is S dot dl is equal to I, current flowing through this closed surface. S dot dl is equal to I enclosed side by side. From A to B H dot dl, then B to C H dot dl. Here A to B H dot dl, then B to C H dot dl, then C to D H dot dl, then D to A S dot dl, and that is equal to I current enclosed on that surface. Okay. From A to B here, this is the tangential component of H, S to T, and the dl is delta W. Therefore, we have used S to T delta W plus from B to C. Half portion lie in medium 2 and half portion lie in medium 1. Then, therefore, and here this is the normal component of H. Therefore, we used S2n delta H by 2 half portion plus H1n normal component in medium 1 delta H by 2. Now from C to D, this the direction is opposite to the tangential is the direction of the tangential component towards this, but here we are going from C to D, therefore this is opposite direction, therefore we have used here negative sign H1T delta W, and from this side D to A in the similar way but in opposite direction, therefore we have used negative sign H1 and delta H by 2 and H2 and delta H by 2, that is equal to K delta W, because here replaced current by a surface current density K, that is equal to I by B. B means distance, here I is the current and B is the distance is delta W. Therefore, I is equal to K delta W. These are cancelled to each other because of opposite signs. Therefore, the resultant we get H2T delta W minus H1T delta W, that is equal to K delta W. Taking common delta W, therefore the resultant equation is H2T minus H1T, that is equal to K. Therefore, from this equation, it is clear that the tangential component of H is also discontinuous because it depends on surface current density K. It means there is change in values of tangential component of H when we are going from one medium to another. Note, if boundary is free of current, means if there is no current, means there is current density is 0, K is 0, then from this equation H2T minus H1T is equal to 0, means H2T is equal to H1T, means tangential component of H is continuous at the boundary when K is 0. From this also B1T is equal to mu1 because is equal to B2T by mu T, because H is equal to B by mu. Therefore, replace S2T by B1T, B2T by mu2 and H1T by B1T by mu1. From this, it is clear that the tangential component of B is discontinuous at the boundary. Therefore, there is some change in values of B from one medium to another. Therefore, there is a discontinuity in B. These are the 4 boundary condition on B and H. Now the next topic is magnetic materials. Magnetic materials are classified in terms of their magnetic properties and their uses. If a material is easily magnetized and demagnetized, then it is referred to as a soft magnetic material. Whereas if it is difficult to demagnetize, then it is referred to as a hard or a permanent magnetic material. Faraday classified these substances, these magnetic materials, on the basis of their magnetic properties into the following 3 categories. The first is diamagnetic substances, second is paramagnetic substances, and the third is ferromagnetic substances. First of all, diamagnetic materials. The diamagnetic substances are those in which the individual atoms, molecules, and ion do not possess any net magnetic moment on their own. Because in diamagnetic materials, an atom has a even number of electrons in their outermost shell, which spin up and spin down. Therefore, they cancel their magnetic moments to each other and their resultant magnetic moment is 0. But when such a substance, when a diamagnetic substance is placed in an external magnetic field, then there exists a induced magnetic moment. But the direction of this magnetic moment is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field. When these materials are placed in magnetized, they feebly magnetized, means magnetized but in the opposite direction. Here this is the represents the dipoles. When magnetic field is 0, there is no dipole moment. When therefore net magnetic moment is here 0, But when we apply a magnetic field in this direction, then there is a net magnetic moment, but in the opposite direction. Arrow is the opposite to the magnetic field H. Now, these are the some example of diamagnetic metals are antimony, bismuth, copper, lead, gold, alcohol, mercury. Are the quartz? Are they some example of the diamagnetic material? Let's discuss the important properties of diamagnetic materials. First properties. When these diamagnetic materials are suspended in a uniform magnetic field, then they set their longest axis at right angles to the direction of the field. Means longest axis is right angles to the with the direction of the magnetic field, and the shortest axis is along the direction of the field. Here, this is the north and south pole represent the magnetic field. This is the longest axis of the diamagnetic material when placed in an external magnetic field. They set their longest axis perpendicular to the magnetic field, direction of the magnetic, and their shortest axis, this axis is parallel to the magnetic field, and longest axis perpendicular to the magnetic field. Next, when placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, these substances have a tendency to move from stronger parts of the field to the weaker parts. For example, consider a diamagnetic liquid put in a watch glass, put in a watch glass. This is the liquid diamagnetic materials in liquid form. Put in a watch glass, placed on two pole pieces of an electromagnet held close to each other, when close to each other up to 2 mm. When the current is switched on, the liquid level acquires this type of shape. The liquid accumulates on the sides where field is weaker, because at the center the field is strongest, and these material have a tendency to move from stronger to weaker parts, therefore depressed at the center and accumulates at the sides where field is weaker. And the depression in the middle due to the stronger field at the center. If the distance between the poles is increased, then at the center there is a weakest field, therefore liquid accumulates at the center, then the effect is reversed. Now the third point is, when a specimen of a diamagnetic material is placed in a magnetizing field. When a specimen of diamagnetic is placed in a magnetizing field, the magnetic field lines prefer not to pass through the specimen. Here, this is the north-south pole, this is the magnetic lines of force, and this is the specimen of diamagnetic. The magnetic lines prefer not to pass, these lines not to pass through the specimen, of the diamagnetic materials. Now, the fourth is relative magnetic permeability of diamagnetic substance is always less than unity. And what is the relative magnetic permeability? It is the ability of a material to permit the passage of magnetic lines of force through it. that is the degree or extent to which magnetic field can penetrate or permeate a material is called relative magnetic permeability. Therefore, mu r is equal to B. B means in a magnetic field in a material and B naught in a vacuum. And B, if from this, in this example, B is less than B naught. Therefore, mu r is less than 1. Therefore, relative magnetic permeability of diamagnetic substances is less than 1. And the fifth property is, from the relation we know that there is a relation between susceptibility and relative permeability is mu r is equal to 1 plus xi m, and here mu r is less than 1. Therefore, xi m is negative, because if mu r is less than 1 means if the value of mu r is 0, then also xi m is negative, because xi m is equal to mu r minus 1. If mu r is 0, then xi m is equal to minus 1. If mu r is minus 1, then also xi m is minus 2, which is negative. Therefore, susceptibility of diamagnetic substances has a small negative value. And the next property is sixth property, susceptibility of diamagnetic does not change with temperature. There is no effect of temperature on the susceptibility of diamagnetic substances. These are the properties of the diamagnetic substances or materials. Now the next is paramagnetic materials. Paramagnetic material or substances are those in which each individual atom molecules has a net non-zero magnetic moment of its own. But this is because of the fact that in paramagnetic material there is a odd number of electrons in their outermost shell, and therefore the magnetic moment of the individual electron due to their orbital as well as spin motion do not cancel out, and so an individual atom has a permanent magnetic moment, has a net non-zero magnetic moment of its own. When such a substance, when such a material are placed in an external magnetic field, they get feebly magnetized in the direction of the magnetic field. In paramagnetic magnetic material, they has a net non-zero magnetic moment, but in randomly in any direction without magnetic field. When a magnetic field is applied, then their dipoles are aligned in the direction of the magnetic field. Direction of the magnetic field means feebly magnetized in the direction of the magnetic field. Some example of the paramagnetic materials are aluminum, chromium, lithium, platinum, sodium, potassium are paramagnetic materials. Now discuss properties of paramagnetic materials. First is when suspended in a uniform magnetic field, they rotate their material so as to bring their longest axis parallel axis along the direction of the field and shortest axis perpendicular. This is the magnetic field north and south pole, and the longest axis along the direction of the magnetic field. Now the next point is, next property is, when placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, they tend to move from weaker parts of the field to the stronger parts. It implies that paramagnetic substance get weakly attract to a magnetic. Here, for example, consider a paramagnetic liquid put in a watch glass. This is a paramagnetic liquid put in a watch glass, placed on two pole pieces of an electromagnet held close to each other, As the current is switched on, the liquid level acquires this type of shape because at the center there is the strongest field, and these materials have a tendency to move from weaker to stronger, and at the side there is a weaker, and they move from weaker, from this side weaker, they move from weaker to stronger, therefore accumulates at the center because at the center there is a stronger field. And if the distance between the two poles increase, then at the center there is a lowest, and at the side there is the highest, strongest magnetic field, and therefore these materials move towards the higher side because at the center there is a lowest, therefore they move from lowest means weaker, they move from weaker to the strongest pairs and acquire this type of shapes. Now the next is third property. When a specimen of a paramagnetic substance is placed in a magnetizing field, the magnetic lines prefer to pass through the specimen. Here these lines represent magnetic lines and these lines pass through the specimen. And B is the magnetic field of the material, and this is the B naught is the external magnetic field outside the sample, and here B is greater than B naught. Now the next property, relative magnetic permeability of a paramagnetic substance is always more than unity, because mu r is equal to B by B naught and B is greater than B naught, therefore mu r is greater than 1. From this relation, we know that mu r is equal to 1 plus xi m. As mu r is greater than, therefore xi m means susceptibility must be positive for paramagnetic substances. Hence, susceptibility is positive but small, no small values. Now the next is susceptibility of paramagnetic substance varies inversely as the temperature of the substance. Means xi m means susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature, and if the temperature increases, then they lose their magnetic properties and change into a diamagnetic substances. Now the next is ferromagnetic. Ferromagnetic substances are those in which each individual atom, molecules, ions has non-zero magnetic moment, as in a paramagnetic. Paramagnetic and ferromagnetic properties are similar, but in ferromagnetic these properties are higher, stronger than paramagnetic substances. When such a substance are placed in an external magnetizing field, they get strongly magnetized in the direction of the field. Here, this is the when magnetic field is zero. There is a alignment of the magnetic dipole. It means when we applied magnetic field, they are strongly magnetized in the direction of the magnetic field. So example of ferromagnetic materials are iron, cobalt, nickel, and a number of their alloys are ferromagnetic material. The ferromagnetic material show all the properties of paramagnetic substances but to a much greater degree. For example, the first is they are strongly magnetized in the direction of external magnetic field where they are placed. Second is they have a strong tendency to move from region of weaker magnetic field to the region of strong magnetic field. They get strongly attracted to a magnet. The second property of paramagnetic, they have a strong tendency to move from a weaker to a stronger parts of the magnetic field. The third is relative magnetic permeability of ferromagnetic material is very large, approx 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 5, which is much larger than relative magnetic permeability of a paramagnetic substance. The fourth is the susceptibility of ferromagnetic is also very large, because if relative is very large, therefore mu r is equal to xi m plus 1, so susceptibility is also very large. That's why they can be magnetized easily and strongly. If the susceptibility is more, then they easily magnetized and strongly magnetized. Now, next is property with rise in temperature, susceptibility of ferromagnetic substances decreases, because there is a inversely relation, xi m inversely proportional to 1 temperature. If the temperature increases, susceptibility decreases. At a certain temperature, ferromagnetic changes over to paramagnetic, and this transition means there is a transition from ferro to para, then this transition temperature is called Curie temperature. And Curie temperature is different for different material. For example, Curie temperature of iron is about 1000 Kelvin. And after Curie temperature, at Curie temperature, ferromagnetic material loses their magnetic properties and changes into a paramagnetic material. These are the three magnetic materials: dia, para, and ferro, and their properties. Now, the important questions related to today's lectures are: first is very important question. Explain the boundary condition on B and H with figures, diagram, and the second is explain the properties of diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic materials with example. Thank you.